Nigeria and South Africa have agreed to finalize a 5-year-old memorandum of understanding on an early warning mechanism to monitor and prevent violence as well as criminal acts involving nationals from both countries. The MOU, aimed at addressing past attacks on Nigerians in South Africa, will be signed by March of 2025. At the Binational Commission in Cape Town, both leaders are also committed to working on mutual challenges, including food security, digital connectivity, and artificial intelligence. On the international stage, they agreed to coordinate positions for upcoming African Union elections and reaffirm support for peace efforts across the continent, including in Sudan and Western Sahara.
All right, let's bring in African Affairs Analyst and Dean of Faculty of Social Sciences at the National Open University, Professor Kamal Bello. Thanks for joining us, Professor. Let's begin now with these early warning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The early warning mechanisms, this finalization was a product that has been pending for 5 years, was a product of this 11th Binational Commission. Now, given the history that we've seen of the tension between Nigerians and South Africans, or Nigerians in South Africa, how important is this in fostering that mutual respect and trust between the two nations?
Thank you very much. We remember when President Obasanjo became the president in 1999, he introduced what we call Shuttle diplomacy. And I think that's what the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is trying to entrench. It's the deficit that has brought up this early warning system, because Nigerians have suffered a lot in South Africa, particularly traders, because most of the things that Nigerians do in South Africa and most of African countries is trading. And we have been embarrassed, harassed, even sometimes killed unnecessarily. So it's a timely intervention. And it is an action in the right direction so that Nigerians can be free to move and make their ends meet in South Africa.
Okay. Professor, this 11th Binational Commission comes at a critical time when both countries are celebrating or commemorating 3 decades of diplomatic relationship, which, first started in February of 1994. But how would you describe that relationship so far? Has it been mutually beneficial for both countries?
Yes, it has been beneficial to both countries. The only problem is that Nigeria needs to be more patriotic and be more proactive. Because for South Africa to become independent, we play a great role, both economically, financially, intellectually. Because there were South Africans who come to Nigeria, and then we sponsored. Even our government at that time supported them, so that the apartheid can end. So we should have an upper hand. Our leaders and the followers in Nigeria need to be more proactive and to exploit the situation so that Nigeria can be reckoned with and take the lead in Africa. So it's a mutual agreement, beneficial to both countries.
Professor, this year marks 25 years of the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission, yet trade volumes, collaborative projects still fall short of the sort of potential that was supposed to be seen. And you just heard Mr. President there saying, look, all these MOUs is just words on paper until we actually implement it. So what sort of steps should both governments take to create this genuinely encouraging business environment that delivers the sort of balanced trade that was supposed to be seen between both countries, especially when it comes to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and Agreement?
We may not get to where we wanted to, but at least we have taken some steps. Because South Africa has nothing less than over 100 companies in Nigeria. which everybody knows. The MTN belongs to South Africa, and many other satellite companies. And Nigeria too has what we call the earpiece, airline. The Access Bank is established in South Africa. We may not have gotten there, but at least the two countries have some impact to play among each other in terms of trade. Particularly South Africa has upper hand. And that's what I said initially. Nigerians were not proactive. Look at even this trip of the president. In those days, even under military, the NIIA should have been involved, Institute of International Affairs. Even the Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, in Kuru, should have been involved. There's need for think tank. People should sit down, people need to sit down and formulate and give us direction so that Nigeria too can take its position the way South Africa is taken. South Africa is at upper hand in terms of technology. Look at what the president was requesting for about G20. South Africa is a member of G20, including the BRICS. And Nigeria is not there yet. And this is a country that will help to fight against independence against apartheid, to get their independence. Although when we go through a ranking, we say to South Africa is the best economy in Africa. They will say Nigeria is, but at least the two of us at par. So we need to do more. We need to move away from our import-relying economy. We need to produce. And see what the president of South Africa said, Cyril Ramaphosa, that he wants to see Nigerian products in the shops in South Africa. We are producing. Not that we are not producing. Only that at least, even we are the one that they are feeding most of the countries in the western part of Africa, in the West Africa, and even including the Southern Africa, our products are there, but sometimes when we produce, because of market, we go and say made in Japan, or made in China, or made in Britain. So we need to be more proactive, and then we need to have data so that every export we are making is recorded, not informal. We are involved in informal trading. We need to formalize it.
Indeed. Professor, Nigeria is South Africa's largest trade partner in West Africa, but as you have mentioned, the trade sheets don't show any balance of trade. It's actually skewed towards South Africa. But let's move to global governance on the international stage, because they talked about African Union, upcoming elections, the G20, Nigeria's interest to be part of that body, as well as the BRICS and all of that. This sort of mutual relationship that we're seeing between South Africa and Nigeria, two of the continent's largest economy, how can that really influence global politics? Do you see this relationship moving the needle when it comes to international politics?
Definitely. Because even the visit of the president to South Africa, that's what I refer to as what we call shuttle democracy, diplomacy. It's a shuttle diplomacy because you visit your friends, you visit your colleagues, you visit your partner, so that you will know that seriously, you are serious about what you are looking for. Nigeria wants to be part of the G20, Nigeria wants to be part of BRICS, and is trying to woo its contemporary in Africa, that's South Africa, for support. It will work. If the diplomacy continues, the engagement continues, and the seriousness is shown, so that it can build confidence. Because today, presently now, at least we are the president of the African Development Bank, which is, at least we knew what happened in the last regime before we were able to get that seat. Even WTO, we are the one heading it as a Nigerian. So there's nothing disturbing us. There's nothing blocking us from being part of the G20 as well as the BRICS. And we are getting the support of South Africa in those directions.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Kamal Bello, for sharing your thoughts with us on Nigeria-South Africa relations. Professor Bello is the Dean, Faculty of Social Science, National Open University, Abuja. Thank you so much.